Hey guys, my name is Alex and welcome to the second part of the 3-part beginner's guide. Now before I actually start this off, I'm just gonna go ahead and say a couple of things that I forgot to mention in the last episode that Dylba reminded me that I need to. So pretty much we're gonna start off with Princess Turtles. Now you can find the Princess Turtles on Turtle Island, which is in the extra islands. And Turtle Island requires 50 stamina, so if you're going to try and farm turtles there, you'll most likely need to spend some gems on stamina. Now something that I believe that is a must while making this run is having a team built with characters that have fixed damage or that have defense breaking specials such as Cabin Boy Helmeppo and or Strong World's Red Haired Shanks. Now if we're talking about taking down defensive characters, here's a small tip against armor crabs or plated lobsters. Now those who farm them know that they can take quite a bit of time to take out, but if you use characters with high combo numbers, it will greatly help you against them. Now two characters that come to mind are Base Hachin, that has the highest combo number of any character, which is 8, and Captain Kuro, which also has a high combo number. Now once you evolve Captain Kuro, then pretty much his combo will rise to 8 as well. But beforehand it's not as high. I'm not too sure what it is though. Now back to Turtle Island though. The reason why it's worth it is because you'll at least, and I repeat, at least leave with 4 Daimo Turtles and 1 Elder. Now the Princess Turtle is not a guaranteed capture, but if you do manage to capture her, she will provide you with 262.5k XP for a match type character and 175k XP to an unmatched type. Now the recommended team that Dylba suggested was going with Double Vista, Diablo Sanji, Helmeppo, Tilestone, Don Krieg, or anyone else who pretty much does poison damage because it's fixed damage, which means that it doesn't rely on their defenses. Now we can move on to the second part. Alright, so now I'm going to be talking about captain abilities. Now, I'm going to try and guide you as much as I can on how to choose the right character fit to be your captain with the crew that you have. Now, if you have a wide variety of QCK types, for example, then you would want to build a team revolving around QCK types, obviously. Now, what you would do is find the captain that has the ability that fits the team that you want the most. Whether if it's more HP or more RCV or more damage, I don't know. It really depends on your desire, really. But my personal example is Juzo. Out of the characters I had, he had the most ideal captain ability to make the team as strong as it can be. Obviously, you will want to hire your pirate level in order to be able to use stronger characters in the same team. But for the time being, you'll just have to work with what you've got. And really, I just think that you need to search for a captain ability that fits pretty much everyone as well in the best way that you possibly could, like, match it. And just roll with it until you get new characters and new types and new potential captains. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about captain abilities. But I'm just gonna say shortly about powering up characters. Now you're gonna want to choose your base character and add resource characters to raise their level. You can add up to 5 resource characters at a time. I'm pretty sure all of you already knew that, but I'm just gonna point that out because, you know, why not? Now, you're going to want to match the character types in order to get an increased bonus of 50%. Now, this pretty much means that in order to get the bonus of 50%, you're going to want to give a QCK type, for example, a QCK type, because that will give him the increased XP bonus. Because if you give him a character of a different type, you won't get the XP bonus. It's as simple as that. Now the higher in level and rarity of the character, it means that he'll get more XP, the one that you're feeding obviously. What I recommend is that you avoid combining one resource character at a time because it could, well, it will just become pretty pricey if you keep doing that. Plus, it just takes more time. It's really inefficient. And another thing is that as the character level grows, so does the amount of belly required to power up the character. So what I recommend is that if you stack up a lot of turtles or you don't have turtles and you just have regular characters that you're willing to dispose of, then you would probably want to give the strongest ones that you're willing to dispose of when the character that you want to level up is the lowest, so it won't be as pricey as it would after he's leveled up. Because let's say if your character is level 5 and you give him like 5 characters that are 3 stars, I'm not quite sure how it will cost myself, but I know it will be much cheaper than giving him the same characters when he's level 30. That's about that. But now we're going to talk about orbs. Now, orbs are random unless you have a crew member who can make a certain orb type more common, such as Thatch with the special Pirate King sword, which greatly increases the chances of getting a QCK slot for 3 turns. Now, you can get an attack power up, which pretty much, let's give the example of QCK since we've been rolling with it since the start of the video. Let's just say that attack power up is QCK character gets a QCK slot, for example, because it's matched to each other and it means that it gets a boost. Now, attack power neutral is like an int character that gets a QCK slot, for example, and an attack power down is an int character that gets a psi slot, for example, because pretty much psi types are super effective against int types, which makes it potentially weaker. Well, that's how the orbs work, at least. So they all have a neutral form and a weak form, each one shown on screen, obviously. And the orb's power can be doubled if the type of the character matches with the orb that he gets. So the types are SDR, DEX, QCK, PSY, and INT. And there's obviously the new type introduced in version 4.0, which is this version, called Free Spirit. Now, there isn't really much to say about the Free Spirit type, but generally these are units that fought for freedom or wanted to be free, and these include all the Ace variations and almost all Luffy's. Like, pretty much it's just an extra type that gets added to your character, such as like the ones I just said, that Ace variations and Luffy variations, not all of them but most of them. And there are Free Spirit teams that are most definitely strong if they are led by the 2 strongest Free Spirit leaders right now, which are Ivankov and Revolutionary Sabo, obviously. But that's all I really have to say about that. Now, recovery, which is meat. If you intend on using meat, make sure the characters in your team have a decent RCV stat in order to get a respectable amount of HP back. If you use a team that consists of characters that have a low RCV stat like Killer, then you're probably better off just trying to execute more perfects rather than doing less damage and not getting enough recovery back, because you can't get your meat if you do a perfect. If you get a perfect, then a meat disappears. If you missed, the meat disappears. You gotta get a good or a great in order to have the meat pretty much heal you. And yeah, now Tandem, which is the final topic of this video. Now, Tandem is a powerful combo that you can do if your crew is capable of doing so. Now, it requires certain characters in your crew who can use tandems. Once one of the characters in your crew who can use it receives a TND slot, it will show you the order you need to do in order to perform the combo. It must get good or above in order to like perform the combo, but I'm gonna be honest here, I never really used a tandem, nor have I really seen its potential use. I'm just gonna explain how it's like how it works, and if you guys want to do it, then you have the opportunity to understand what it is, or if you want to try it out, you can definitely do that. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole idea of Tandem, and this is gonna be the end of today's part. Now, if you did enjoy this part or think that it was useful in the slightest, you can go ahead and leave a like and or subscribe and even comment if you want to, because the next part, I'm not quite sure when it will be up. Hopefully it will be up this week, but it will be up soon, and I suggest that you subscribe to make sure that you don't miss out on it. But yeah, that has been it for today, and I will see you guys later.